Good morning, everyone. Now, because of the amazing response that I have received for all my previous videos from all of you, now today I'm here again with another video that is on ossification. In this video, we'll be dealing with one type of ossification, that is the intramembranous ossification. Now, beginning with the basic concept, what do we mean by ossification? Ossification is a process in which the bone tissue is laid down. Now, it is of two kinds. One is intramembranous and the other is the endochondral. Intramembranous, endochondral. These are the two types of ossification. What is the basic difference between the two? The intramembranous and endochondral. In both of them, the first step is laying down of a mesenchymal membrane. First step is laying down of a mesenchymal membrane, and then subsequently, in case of intramembranous ossification, that membrane is replaced by a bone. And in case of endochondral ossification, there is one extra step. That means from the membrane to cartilage, and then that cartilage is replaced by a bone. Again, I repeat, in case of intramembranous ossification, a membrane is laid down in which the bony tissue is formed. In case of endochondral ossification, again the membrane is laid down, a cartilage is formed in that is the hyaline cartilage, and the next step is it is replaced by the bone. Now, the intramembranous ossification, basically it takes place in the various bones of the vault of the skull. The vault of the skull is the skull cap. So various bones in that, like frontal bone, parietal bone, temporal, occipital, they all, and then you have few bones like the clavicle, the collarbone, and parts of the mandible, that is the lower jaw, they are formed by the intramembranous ossification. And regarding the endochondral ossification, most of the bones of the body are formed by the endochondral ossification. That means maximum are formed by endochondral, but by intramembranous, we have bones of the vault of the skull, the clavicle or the collarbone, and the mandible or the lower jaw. Now, talking about the steps, the intramembranous ossification, that means a membrane is laid down and in that membrane ossification occurs. Now, first of all, the first step is the mesenchymal membrane is laid down. That means a membrane is formed by the mesenchymal cells. Now, the next question is, what do you mean by mesenchymal cells? So, mesenchymal cells are the undifferentiated cells. That means they have not yet differentiated, but they have the power to change themselves into any kind of the cells as and when required. For example, if required to lay down the collagen fibers, they can change into the fibroblast. If required to lay down the ossin fibers for the bone, they can change into osteoblast. For laying down again the cartilaginous matrix, they can change into the chondroblast. So, mesenchymal cells are the undifferentiated cells which have the power to differentiate into the cells as and when required. Now, suppose this is the area where the bone is to be formed. This is the area where the bone is to be formed. We'll be using different colors for it, but we'll be making very simple diagrams and just like a flow chart to follow the various steps. So what happens here, where the bone is to be formed, the various mesenchymal cells, they collect together, and this step is known as mesenchymal condensation. You can label each and every step. So this step is called the mesenchymal condensation because the various mesenchymal cells, they are, you can say they are grouped together, they condense at a site. So this step is known as the mesenchymal condensation. Now, few of these cells differentiate into fibroblast and lay down the collagen fibers, right? So the next step will be few of these cells, they will differentiate into the fibroblast. This is the next step. They differentiate. So we have all the cells. These are the nuclei of the various mesenchymal cells, and now we have few fibroblasts also, and now there is the formation of fibers, the collagen fibers, the wavy collagen fibers, right? Now, this is mesenchymal membrane. The structure formed is mesenchymal membrane. So the first step is the mesenchymal cells have gathered together. That is the mesenchymal condensation. In the next step, few cells have differentiated into fibroblasts and have formed the collagen fibers. Now this has now led to formation of a mesenchymal membrane. Now what will happen? Few of the cells, they transform themselves into osteoblast. So now they differentiate themselves into the osteoblast. Osteoblasts are the bone forming cells. So we have the cells will enlarge. The cells will enlarge. Few cells will enlarge and will form the osteoblast. And will form the osteoblast. We can draw them, we can draw the enlarged cells and the nucleus and all the cells and label them as osteoblast. Right? Now these osteoblasts, obviously they have to form the bone tissue. So they will lay down the fibers, they are the ossin fibers, they have the protein ossin, so they will lay down the ossin fibrils. And themselves, these osteoblasts will arrange themselves alongside these fibers. As we can see very clearly in this diagram, the osteoblast, the mesenchymal cells have enlarged and formed the osteoblast, and the osteoblasts have laid down these fibers. So these are the ossin fibers, and where are they arranged? They come to arrange themselves alongside these fibers. Now we move to the next step. Now in the next step, under the effect of these osteoblasts, the matrix will be laid down amongst these fibers. Under the effect of these cells, a matrix will be laid down for these fibers. Now what will happen? Due to that matrix, these fibers will swell up, and because of the swelling, they will become less visible. So what changes have occurred? We can write down here, the matrix is laid down. The matrix is laid down, due to which the fibers, they swell up and become less visible. So by just writing in simple lines and the words, you can show that you know that what has happened in going from one step to the another step, right? So again, we have the osteoblast. These are the osteoblast, right? The nucleus in them. Now, as I said, the matrix will be laid down. You can show this matrix with a yellow color. The matrix will be laid down. A glycoprotein matrix is laid down, and these fibers, which were very evident here, now they become less visible because they have swollen up. right? So this is the matrix here. We can label this as matrix. Now, what happens in the next step? Under the effect of osteoblast, in this matrix, various salts, the inorganic salts, the salts of calcium and magnesium will be added to this matrix. So again, what are we going to do? We are going to make these osteoblasts, right, with the same nucleus. Okay, so we have the matrix. The less visible fibers and the inorganic salts of calcium and magnesium. So these are the inorganic salts of calcium and magnesium, right? Now this becomes one lamellus of the bone. So we can label this as one lamellus of bone. So one lamellus of the bone has been laid down. Now coming to the next step. Now what will happen in the next step? See, again all these steps will keep on repeating. Starting from this point, the osteoblast, they laid down the ossifying fibers, then laid down the matrix, then there was deposition of the various salts. Now what will happen? This lamellus is formed, the osteoblast will lay down another lamellus, and while doing so they will move away from the already formed lamellus, right? So we have again the osteoblast, the nucleus, right? Now again the ossifying fibers are being laid down, right? And we have the already formed lamellus. So I think the diagram is very clear that one lamellus is already formed and the osteoblasts are laying down the new lamellus, right? And these osteoblasts have moved away from the lamellus which is already formed. So thus the lamellae all formed will form one trabecula of the bone, one trabecula of the bone. Now when they are moving away from the already formed lamellus, what happens? Few of them will get trapped in between. Few of them will get trapped in between. They lose the power of division and form osteocytes. Osteocytes. So this is an already formed lamellus and this is the newly forming lamellus. That means it is now just forming. So this is all about how the intramembranous ossification occurs. A quick revision of everything. A mesenchymal membrane is laid down where the bone is to be formed. That means the mesenchymal cells condense. Then few of them, now because the mesenchymal cells, they can form any kind of cell. So few of them form the fibroblast, laid out the collagen fibers. Now this structure is known as mesenchymal membrane. Few of them enlarge and form osteoblast. Osteoblasts have obviously they have the power to form the bone. So they will lay down the ossifying fibers. Then they lay down the matrix. When the matrix comes, which we are showing with this yellow color, the fibers, they swell up. Now the fibers which were very easily visible here, they become less visible in the next step. Then the inorganic salts of calcium and magnesium are laid down again under the influence of the osteoblast. Next step, so this is the formation of one lemellus. Now what will happen? Osteoblasts have to lay down another bony lemellus. For this, they will again go to this step. They will again lay down the ossin fibers and they will move away from the previously formed lamellus. But in doing so, few of them get trapped within and they lose the power of dividing and further forming the bony tissue, and so they are known as the osteocytes. So osteocytes are nothing but mature osteoblasts which have lost the power of division. Thank you so much. I hope you like this video, and if you do so, please like it and subscribe my channel. And in the next video, I'll be posting the endochondral ossification. But to understand that, it would be very easy for you if you go through this video, if you make this concept clear, because most of the steps in this video will be getting repeated in that video. Thank you so much.